Good morning. Now, we've been talking throughout the morning of how cold it is, how dangerous the roads is, and as you're waking up and you're taking a look outside, it's easy to look at the depth of what's on the ground and underestimate the danger that we see. Because, I mean, last month we got 9 inches of snow. This time around, we barely got a full inch, but you have to remember, before we saw the snow, we had freezing rain and sleet, and that was because as that wintry precipitation started falling yesterday afternoon, we did have that little bit of a warm layer that was pretty low in the atmosphere. At the lowest, it was around 4,800 feet, at the highest around 8,100 feet, so that was about 3,300 feet of temperature, slightly above that freezing mark, which gave us that freezing rain when it made it to the surface. Now, throughout the afternoon, that warm layer closed in, so we saw a little bit of a transition to sleet around 4 or 5 o'clock. And then last night, by the time we hit the 10 o'clock show, that's when we started to see straight snow that lasted until about 3 o'clock this morning. So even though the depth of what's on the ground isn't as thick, you have to consider we've got a layer of ice and then that snow packed on top of it. So regardless of if your car has 4-wheel drive or all-wheel drive, with that ice on the ground, it's going to make it hard for even the best tires to get that traction. So that's going to make for a slippery slope when it comes to those travel impacts, which we've seen through the morning. We've talked at length about the hazardous travel conditions, and as Tracy mentioned numerous times this morning, we're staying below freezing until Saturday at best. So that means what's on the ground, the little bit that is on the ground, is going to stay on the ground for several days. So take us seriously when we say avoid travel, stay home if you can, because these roads are going to stay dangerous for the next several days.
All right, Simone, thank you so much. A little science behind everything too. And I know we talked about it. Just, my goodness gracious, you battle between the snow and the ice and the freezing rain. It's easy to get confused about what's worse. Sleet, freezing rain, snow. What do we want? What do we don't want?
Definitely freezing rain is going to be the worst, because it's falling as rain. You think, oh, it's just raining, but when it hits the surface, it immediately freezes over. And that's what we started with yesterday, was the freezing rain. And then again, at some point it transitioned to sleet, and then we got to snow, but that we still had that layer of ice under all of it.
Right, and that snow can confuse you thinking it's just snow when there is ice between it. But the road crews have done an amazing job pre-treating, getting that brine in there and that rock salt too. So thank you, Simone, for another perspective of this weather picture.
We're going to get back to some breaking news we have been following since we came on the air this morning. Dozens of 18-wheelers finally inching along. Of course, it's been stop and go all morning long after being stuck all night on I-40.
Wake Up Central's Journey Taylor and our photog Chris Ross are live at the Galloway exit. They have been all morning since 4:30 this morning with a look at I-40. Journey, bring us up to date. I'm trying to see some movement behind you. It seems like the eastbound lanes that were the problem, are they still moving slowly or moving?
Yeah, absolutely. We are coming to you every 30 minutes or so with a different story. And it's just an active scene out here. While we have most of those trucks moved out of the way and they're on down 40, we now have a truck that's trying to get out of the ditch or the side of the road. I'm assuming that they pulled over when all the trucks were backed out, but this truck down the road here with it appears to be logs on the back of their truck. They're kind of stuck in spot, and you can't really hear over our mic, but we can hear out here that they're trying to rev it up and trying to get out of this little side of the road, this little area. You can kind of see it now. Perfect. But yeah, it's been hectic out here, to say the least. Traffic moving along okay now along I-40, but we got a truck that's trying to get out of the side of the road. We still have a truck that's flipped over onto its side. There was a tow truck out here trying to help get it out, but it has taken off at this point. So we're still working to see when they're going to get this truck turned back upright and turn the other direction, because it's actually still facing the wrong direction. I want you guys to take a look at these videos. We had several wrecks over the night. I-40 seeing several wrecks overnight. Clearly still some slick spots out there. According to spokesperson Dave Parker, they did have a good 48 hours of pre-treatment here in Central Arkansas, putting down the super brine. Once the precipitation started to hit in this area, they put down rock salt. Parker says the key point, though, is for drivers to be aware the road conditions look much different than what we dealt with in January.
I want people to understand that, this system is different, and that we're talking dangerously cold temperatures here. I mean, when it's 5 degrees, wind chill of -5. You don't need to be out in it. If you have to get out in it overnight, early morning, people have to work, I understand that, plan accordingly. But this is not a system where we have 6 inches of snow and it's 35 and melting the next day. It's going to be here for a couple of days for sure.
Now, as a reminder, Parker says to be sure to plan accordingly and stay informed. That's the big thing today. If you have to get on the highways and interstates, don't forget that handy dandy tool that is iDrive Arkansas, where it indicates what you're specifically dealing with in each area. And actually, you guys, I really would love to see if we can bring Tracy or Simone in on this. I was under the impression that we were done with precipitation here in central Arkansas, that it has moved out. But if you can see it on the camera, I think we're dealing with some more snow. So it's just going to be an active day, clearly. You guys got an answer on that for me?
Yeah, Journey, we are looking for just a very light. We're going to see that in fluttering through. Again, not looking for any accumulation or any impacts to add to what we already have. Again, just that cold weather is producing just a few little flurries. So again, not to worry. It's all, for the most part, out of here already.
Yeah, Tracy, thank you for that update. Not to worry is a great way to put it, because I think when you have to stand out here and, of course, you're feeling the temperatures like, oh, what is to come, what is to come? It is quite chilly out here, so definitely Karen, Hayden, Tracy, and Simone, I hope you guys are warm back there at the studio, of course, as we learn more updates or get more things happening here at I-40. We'll be sure to update you guys, okay?
All right, let's check those roads out there. We are looking at Interstate 30. This is around the Vimy Ridge Road exit, 127. This is eastbound, impacting that left and center lane, of course, the shoulder as well. It looks like that truck may have just had some trouble coming up the hill. Maybe we're not getting any additional information on that, but we can see that tow truck there. But it is beginning to back things up again. For the most part, I'm going to go ahead and zoom out here and let you see we are seeing overall pretty good weather. And as far as the weather goes, it's not impacting traffic too much. I'm going to take these cameras off here real quick, and you can see we do have the Interstate 40 issue, and then we will jump up here as well. This is going to be an accident that is eastbound, affecting all the lanes on 30. Let's get a camera and see what we are looking at there. Pull that up for you. This is on University. Oh heavens, look at that. So yes, so this is going to be on University, at that University exit on 30. This looks like it just happened. The accident icon just popped up. So if you are on 30, again, if you're around that University exit, looks like we are looking westbound, so they will be traveling eastbound. Looks like that is certainly backed up. Again, we're not seeing a ton of accidents this morning, because the ones we're seeing are causing all kinds of issues this morning. I'm just traveling around a little bit further here. We'll look in North Little Rock and see what is going on. Again, folks are moving. Wow, I wish they drive a little slower, honestly, but overall, people are doing a good job. We are seeing these road conditions. They're okay, but again, we need to stay home, because we are looking for this to continue. That below freezing temperature is going to continue as we're heading into Friday, and then we're seeing a very hard freeze as we're heading into the overnight hours tonight. So anything that does melt today is just going to refreeze tomorrow morning. So I do expect conditions to be a bit hazardous tomorrow morning as well. I want to go ahead and jump along here. We'll take a look at the river bridge. That is always a scary thing. I grew up in Maumelle, and going over the river bridge when it was icy always made me nervous. But yeah, looking there, it looks like folks are traveling well. But even with those areas, we are worried about black ice. Again, it's a bit shiny, so don't mistake that for being clear roads. So just take your time today. Again, we are looking across the entire metro. We've got some ice and that slushy road. And again, those accidents that are happening are causing quite a bit of trouble. So stay safe, friends.
Tracy, thank you. And as we continue to work to keep you safe and sound, several locations across central Arkansas are opening warming shelters. Minutes ago, we have shown you a list of locations in Little Rock, North Little Rock, and Conway. Now here are some others to know about. In Benton, the North Side Church of Christ is opening its doors to those in need, and they'll stay there until Thursday at noon. Go ahead, Hayden.
Presbyterian Baptist Church in Jacksonville also offering shelter until 8 a.m. on Thursday. Meanwhile, in Pine Bluff, Opportunity House will remain open until Friday at 7 a.m.
And then finally, the Community Place in Cabot is keeping its doors open until Saturday at noon. If you know of any warming shelters we can add to our list, please, we invite you to email us to web@thv11.com.
And with those below freezing temperatures expected through Friday, experts do caution you may encounter sheets of ice for days, especially, of course, on those back roads.
RDOT telling us this is not a snow situation. It's ice, and it won't melt due to the lack of sunshine and the cold.
Now, city crews began salting and sanding those roads Tuesday morning, but Little Rock Public Works Manager Eric Petty says icy side streets and steep hills will still be very dangerous for drivers out there. Of course, we talked about that and those church openings as well. Again, here's some information for you in Benton. If you do need a place to stay warm this morning, we have talked about it as anybody may need a place or whatever you need. Please, please, please take advantage of these amazing places that have opened their doors when you need to warm
centers.
up. Mm-hmm.
We do have a full list of them on our website as well, thv11.com. You can find a warming center in your area if you need one. And officials do urge residents, if you have to get out, and some people do, then even just 1 or 2 inches of ice can lead to serious accidents, as we've seen some all night long.
Absolutely. We urge you, please be cautious, be safe, stay home if you can. Not everybody can. And of course, when you do see those emergency vehicles as well, be sure to move to the side and make sure that those folks can do the job that they have to do.
Yes. Arkansas Governor Sanders did declare a state of emergency in advance to assist crews keeping everyone safe.
Now, as part of the response, the Arkansas National Guard has been activated to help keep residents safe.
A total of 140 guardsmen are now deployed, forming 28 response teams. They are dedicated to patrolling the state's roads.
Here's some look at those vehicles now. The mission includes assisting first responder vehicles, as we mentioned before. If they get stuck, these are the folks that help out. Now, again, though, they will not be aiding private vehicles if you get stuck in your car.